Hello there, friends. Well, today I'm going to be starting a huge project, a complete custom interior for the 75 Corvette. So as you can see here, so this is the before on the 75 Corvette. As you can see, it's pretty rough. Going to get all new carpet. Going to do everything in here. So it's going to get a all new interior. So even the dead snake, there's a dead snake. Okay, that's what we're dealing with here. Check this one out. We're going to start with the custom seats. We're going to be doing something a little special to these seats. The customer has requested larger side bolsters. So I'm not going to be able to use these patterns because they're going to change once I change the shape of the seat. I always start with the bottom cushion first. I don't know why, if it's just one of my habits or what, but really the process is going to be the same for the backrest. So just to keep things simple, what I always do is I always take my China marker or my Sharpie pen right here, one or the other, and I start marking it up. What we're doing here is the customer, he wants larger side bolsters. So we're going to completely change the pattern here. We're going to go from 1975 to something that's a lot more modern and more current. So what I decided to do is take this line right here and just continue it all the way down like that. That's going to be our new pattern. Okay, and because of the higher side bolsters, we're going to get rid of this 1975 welt right here, and we're going to have a seam that goes over the top of the side bolster, and it will most likely come in. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and have it curved the same way. I think what I did here is I took the scissors and I kind of cut a preliminary pattern design here for this larger side bolster, and you can see how it changes the shape right there, that pattern, and also it's going to change the shape of this. So if you kind of take a look at it, imagine us putting a lot more foam in there, but you see the gap it created. So that's what we have to add in our new patterns. This panel right here, I'll be adding that 1.25 inches. When I add it, it'll kind of look more like that. Start taking this one apart. Just going to go ahead and start drawing it out. Okay, I'm going to mark just on the outside of every pleat. Cutting into the leather, that can get pretty exciting. because you know you can't go back. Once you cut it, it's cut. Wow, what a guess, huh? So anyway, that was my guess. This pattern is what goes here on the side. Right there. And I just kind of guessed at that curve. I guess I'm not that far off. Just add a little bit more padding right here on this furthermost top edge, and really I can use this as a pattern. I don't have to guess. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay that right there and draw it out. You'll notice that the original seat cover here was just vinyl on the sides. I'm going to be adding 1/4 inch scrim or backed foam to the pattern when I sew it up. That'll make it look more plush and more full, less wrinkly and less bumpy. The outcome will be much better. And you know, this is going to be better than factory. I got all the leather cut out of that half hide for these two seats, and you can see here, this is my only waste. These are just small pieces that I couldn't use. They were all on the edges anyway. So these are the side bolsters. I'm going to go ahead and put these together, and then after I do that, it's going to be getting a French stitch across the top. think we finally have ourselves a seat bottom. Do the same process for the backrest, and then I'm going to put the seat back together and we'll get a finished product. Hey, Miss Nibbles. Now moving on to carpet. So we had to take out all the nasty, ugly stuff. Dirty, moldy, rotted stuff. So now we got the wheel well here, or I guess the footwell. Got the footwell cleaned out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a 20-ounce jute pad. And you can go to 40 ounce if you like. It's totally up to you. I'm going to lay this out real quick. You see all this extra material right here? So there's like a bunch of balls. As we take that corner, put your finger right there in the corner. And then you can gather the material just like that in the corner. Take your Sharpie, mark the little valley on either side there. Take your scissors, the reason I like the 20-ounce jute pad to work with, it's a lot thinner than the 40 ounce. The 40 ounce is so thick. And look at that. Works every time it's tried. And what I do is pre-mark the hole. Just like that. Pre-mark the hole right there. The hole's right there. I just cut that one out. Just like that. You can clearly see the hole. So now when you mount the carpet over the top of the jute pad, there's nothing behind the carpet. So usually what I do is I do half and half. So we know where the pad is supposed to be, right? The jute pad. So I'm just going to kind of fold it over like this a little bit. We'll go ahead and glue this half right here. Okay, so that's half of the floor and then half of the pad. We don't have to let it dry for 5 minutes like some people say. We want this jute pad here to stick. So we want to lay it down while it's still wet. Do the other half. Remember, where there's no glue, it's not going to stick. Making the patterns for the carpet, for these corners here, is going to be much the same how we did with the jute pad right here. How we gathered up the corners, marked it, and cut it. So that's what I did here. The same thing with the carpet. So you can see here where I made that V notch there. And that gives us that pattern. Same thing here with this corner here. So here's a good example of the pattern making. So I needed to make a dart right here in this corner. So I gather up the material like that. Like you get a V shape. Take a chalk, mark it, just like that. That way you know where to cut your carpet. So what you're going to do is on either in the inside, this side here is where you're going to cut the carpet. And then once you do that, then you have your pattern. I'm going to put it on the sewing machine, sew up that dart, and then this side here is ready for install. Here we got a basic carpet install with basic patterns, basic trimming, and laying how to lay it in 50-50. All that's left on this project here is just to trim out all the edges and put all the parts back on. There's Miss Nibbles, the wonder dog. Hi, Nibbles. Hi, my Nibbles. So first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to start with this stuff right here, acetone. Okay, this is not only for just degreaser, like I said. This is to help the new paint adhere to the vinyl and plastics. So what we're going to do is get the rag nice and wet. Okay, we're going to go ahead and rub it down. Make sure it goes on wet. Thing about acetone is it dries quickly. So don't worry about putting too much on. The other thing, when you use an acetone, it's always a good idea to use some kind of rubber glove. If you don't, it's going to dry out your skin. So I'm working outside, so I don't want a bunch of overspray inside the shop. First thing we're going to do is we're going to be spraying on the perimeter on the outside and all the hidden places, the back sides if there's any, because we don't want to miss any of those, because sometimes they'll be seen. The first coat is going to be the mist coat or the tack coat, same, just like if you're painting a car. You always do your first tack coat first. What that does is it gives the paint something to adhere to. Also, with that first tack coat, it helps to prevent runs. Unless if you're in a cold winter climate, because it's lacquer, it sets up really fast, regardless of really the temperature. Unless if you're in Detroit in December or something like that. So really, by the time I'm done painting these other two pieces, on the first coat, it'll be time for the second coat on that first piece that I did. Overlapping strokes. Just like that. With like a semi-gloss finish is what you're looking for. Not too heavy, not too thin. As you can see, there's really good coverage with that first coat. It looks pretty good. But you know what? Being that it's lacquer, it doesn't go on very thick, so it goes on really thin. So this is the second coat. It's about 75 degrees out here now. Light humidity. Got a breeze blowing out here. That's why I'm spraying a little bit closer, so my material's not going to just float away. So in the time that it took you to watch this entire video, I went ahead and finished up the car. Yeah, right, huh? Well, it did beat me up just a little bit, but you know, we get through it, don't we? So I pretty much finished all the car except for the door panels here, which the customer said he wants to pick up later. He's anxious to get his car back. So until next time.